1 in 3. That's how many American men will face physical violence, sexual assault, or stalking by an intimate partner. 1 in 3 women worldwide will endure physical or sexual abuse, most often by someone they know. But domestic abuse isn't just bruises. It's manipulation, it's fear, it's control that seeps into every part of your life. I'm Ingrid Dutton, and I survived it. Then I created 1 in 3 so no one else has to suffer in silence. Each week, we break that silence together. Occasionally joined by survivors, loved ones, and experts, we talk about the pain, yes, but also about the healing, resilience, and the fight to reclaim your life. This podcast is more than awareness, it's a lifeline. And a reminder, you are seen, you are heard, you are never alone. Search for 1 in 3 wherever you get your podcasts, because every voice matters and every story deserves to be heard.
This information is taken from When the Reporter Asks You Why There Are So Many Filipino Nurses in the U.S. by Catherine Saniza Choi in The Margins magazine. Late in the 20th century, the Philippines became the world's leading exporter of nurses. In September of 2020, 31.5% of nurses who died from COVID were Filipino. And overall, only 4% of the nurses were Filipino. So there was a very large majority of Filipino nurses who died. It started when the U.S. colonized the Philippines. We had a shortage of nurses in the U.S. because all of the females were going back to work after World War II. And so the U.S. was very strong in forming the nursing program in the Philippines. And I found this very interesting that English proficiency is required for a Filipino RN license. Good morning, sister.
Good morning.
Oh, I get the hand gesture this time, too.
Yes.
It's like a wake-up world kind of gesture. I don't know how to describe that to people.
It's a marshmallow world that we live in.
Is it? So I'm Jessica.
Oh, we're reintroducing ourselves.
When we remember to.
Yes.
Who are you?
Well, that is a good question.
Not existentially.
I'm Ingrid.
And this is another situation.
I sounded so disappointed.
You did. You truly did. So this episode is going to be a combo of awareness months. It is Nurses Week. Yay to all of our nurses. Nurses Appreciation.
Yay.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you, nurses. And it is also Asian Pacific Islander American Month.
Yay.
Yay. So this story is going to be about 2 Filipino nurses in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh, I was going to say, is it me and Mom?
No, you're a nurse practitioner, you silly goose.
Nurse practitioner, though.
I know, you were a nurse at one point in time.
Yeah.
I mean, we could make so many stories about Filipino nurses. You heard from the intro. There's so many. And even, what's his name? Joko. I said Joko, not Jokoi. Joko. His mom wanted him to be a nurse.
Yes, his mom did, but his aunt is the one who named him because he said everybody would always ask why he's Jokoi.
And I said Joko.
So I need to apologize, Jessica.
Okay.
For the delay in recording. But Mom and I were watching Catching Killers on Netflix. Have you watched that?
No.
So there's an episode 1, there's an episode 2, and they each have 4. No, there's a season 1, a season 2, and each have 4 episodes.
Oh, maybe I have watched it.
So the first one was on BTK.
I probably did watch it.
And so anyway, she was like, "Oh, I was going to go to bed, but I have to finish watching this now." And
Yeah, so that's why I was like, hey, can you give me another 10 minutes?
She used to not, she would watch 48 Hours with me.
But it was
not very frequently, though.
Well, she watched the John Wayne Gacy one with me.
Oh, I remember you told me that.
And then anyway, I said, okay, I'm going to record with Jessica. And she's about to go downstairs. And she said, hey, Ingrid. I'm like, what? And she goes, stay sexy and don't get murdered.
Did she really?
Yes.
Oh, my little murderino mother.
I was so excited.
I think they did cover this on My Favorite Murder.
This
I'm pretty
story?
Sure. I'm sure. I didn't get any of my info from them.
I don't know what this is at all.
Oh, okay. So, well, let me tell you, I got Wikipedia, of course, is one of my resources. The best. I am so sorry if I say your last name wrong. Jerry Zaldez. She is a professor of journalism at Michigan State University, and she directed and produced why can't I? Produced, not produced.
A little dairy.
Oh, good grief.
Some fresh greens in there.
Produced. It's called That Strange Summer, and it's about an hour long. And she has interviews with some of the journalists whose articles I read, and some two of the FBI guys that were on the case. And it is a fabulous job. And it won a Merit Award for Best. And she's also Filipino, so I'm giving a shout out to her. She's awesome. Won a Merit Award for Best Independent Producer from Michigan Associate of Broadcasting, and an Award of Excellence from, my handwriting's horrible, Broadcast Education Association.
I just have to say that I said that exact same thing in our last episode.
Well, I usually type my notes, and I didn't have time to type. So my apologies to the listeners if I'm a little scattered.
Oh, what is the name of is it like a documentary?
It's called That Strange Summer.
That Strange Summer. Okay.
Yeah.
Where can you find that?
Oh, well, it's only on a website. She actually had to give me a password to access it. Oh. So I'm obviously not going to share that with everybody because that's on her to share. But I could probably let you actually. Maybe I could share the password with you so you and Mom could watch it.
Password is?
Password. Oh, just kidding.
We just dated ourselves.
This is about some murders at the Ann Arbor VA Medical Center in Ann Arbor, Michigan in the August of 1975. So this is what
year again?
1975.
Okay.
Oh, so I had That Strange Summer. There's a Washington Post article. There was a New York Times article from July 14th of 76 called Two Nurses Convicted of Poisoning 5 Patients at Michigan Hospitals. I said Wikipedia, and then I had That Strange Summer. And there's also an Obscura podcast. It's episode 40... episode 48, I think. Let's say 48. I didn't listen to that whole thing, but I didn't know there was stuff on the back of this.
Is that another page?
Yes. Oh, this is the end of it. Okay, cool. August 15th, 3 patients had breathing. 3 patients had.
I wish everybody could see what was happening right now. Jessica's face is scrunched up, and she has a piece of paper that's an inch away from her eyeballs.
It looks like breathing fuduses, but I don't know. Failures. Oh my gosh. Failures.
Why? What? What word?
Failures. The 3 patients were in breathing failure. And so there was an anesthesiologist named Ann Hill. And she said it looked...
Like respiratory failure?
Yeah, they called it breathing failure back then.
Okay. Oh.
So that's why I'm calling it breathing failure.
Okay.
And so there's 3 of them in one day. So the anesthesiologist, I think it was the chief anesthesiologist. I'm just making up terms now, but she saw one of the patients right like soon after it happened. She's like, oh, this looks like the side effects of Pavilon, which is a muscle relaxer. It's a synthetic form of curare plant, which is the Native Americans use the toxins to make blow darts or to darts, maybe not blow darts, because there's a toxin in it. So she tested all 3 of the patients.
Wait,
and
can I just say that I love that you acted out a blow dart just now?
In case you didn't know.
Which could also be a trumpet.
So she tested all 3 of these patients for Pavilon. Am I saying that right?
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay. It's Pavolun. Pavolun? Whatever. So all 3 tested positive for it. So she was able to give whatever anesthesiologist gave to counteract that. And the patients, made it through that day. So the VA is like, oh my gosh, something's going on. So they called in the FBI. At this hospital, there were 750 employees, and all of them had to be interviewed because they had no idea what was going on. In about a 6-week period, there was 35 breathing failures in that 6-week period, and 10 were fatal. And usually,
were they all in the same area of the hospital?
The majority of them were in an ICU ward.
Okay,
but not all of them.
Okay,
yeah. And they said that usually you'd get like 1 to 2 breathing failures a week, and not 35 in a 6-week period. So they're really concerned as to what was going on. But back in this day, back in the 70s, there was no security. There was no one. They kept the meds stored in a refrigerator on the bay that anyone could access. There was no documentation of who gave what when. You didn't have to sign stuff in and out. You didn't have to you probably did have to document in the chart, I would think, when something was administered, but the actual administration, taking the drugs and administering them to a patient was totally it was chaos. After interviewing all of these people and analyzing everybody's work schedule, who worked where, nurses, orderlies, the cleaning crew, doctors, everybody was looked at. There was one nurse who was specifically paid attention to, and her name was Filipino B. Narciso, but they just called her PI. And I don't know if it's because her name is Filipino and she's from the PI, but that was her nickname. And so she was found to be in or around the area. She was on the clock for 31 of those breathing failures, so she was the most. She was the nurse who was around the most. And then a couple of the families came out and was saying yes, I saw this nurse administer something to my dad or my uncle, whoever, or the patients. There was one patient that even said he saw a nurse do it. And he actually supposedly wrote down PI on a piece of paper. And that, supposedly. So there's a family, the family that said that they saw the wrote PI. His name was John McCreary. McCrary. I might be saying that wrong. They actually interviewed her daughter on that strange summer. And the daughter, so maybe it's just me looking for something, but the daughter couldn't even say the name of the nurse that was accused of killing her husband. She's like, it was the Filipino nurse with the curly hair. I don't know if she couldn't remember her name or anything like that, but she remembered the name of the anesthesiologist who discovered those 3 patients that day. She's like, yeah, the anesthesiologist's name was Ann Hill. She discovered this, but she couldn't remember the name of Filipino. Well, she didn't, maybe not that she didn't remember, but she's like, it was the one with the curly hair.
Why does that make you suspicious?
As I go through with the rest of the story, maybe you'll.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'll explain. I'll explain
because
more.
I was described once as the not white nurse wearing purple scrubs.
These women were referred to as horrible things. One guy called them slant-eyed bees.
Mm.
Yeah. And he was the lead witness for the prosecution. So this was in the 70s after...
In Michigan.
In Michigan after Vietnam. And it was a bunch of veterans. I don't know their ages.
At
Actually,
a VA. Okay.
At a VA, yes. And so there was a lot of people, or there's some people that like to say that racism and prejudice didn't come or play a part in this. But then there's also an overwhelming majority that think that there might have been, which I will get into at the end of telling you what happened. Okay. So then there was another family member who said that they saw this woman named Lenova Perez. She was 33. She's a mother of 2. And they said that they saw her fumbling with a patient's IV. Didn't see her inject anything, just fumbling with the IV. And then she walked out of the room while the family member was standing there. And then shortly after she walked away, that veteran went into breathing failure, respiratory failure. So, and the thing with Pavilon, whatever, is that it takes 2 to 3 minutes for the effects of it to impact the person. So they would have been injected like fairly soon from when they were getting the respiratory failures. Okay, so these 2 women were accused. They both emigrated from the Philippines about 6 years prior. Like I said, Lenora was, I think she was a mom. She was pregnant with her second child during the trial. And I think she was in jail for a little bit during the trial too. And then Filipina, she was, I have 31 written down, but I want to say I thought she was younger than that. And they were charged with 3 counts of poisoning, 3 counts of... both were charged with 3 counts of poisoning, and then both were charged with conspiracy. Okay, so the conspiracy charge was that there was a belief that there was a nationwide conspiracy that Filipino nurses were sent to murder veterans.
Oh no!
It's probably. I mean, it's not a very founded one, but like I told you in the intro, so many nurses were coming from the Philippines because the U.S. set that system up that way because there was a shortage of nurses.
That's about when Mom came.
It is. That's why the story hit home, because Mom was working at the VA in Wisconsin when this happened. 1977? Oh no, we were still in Georgia.
Yeah.
But shortly after
you weren't anywhere.
What's kind of interesting during this time is like there was also a man, the patient's family members and nurses all saw a white man in a green surgical uniform prior to a lot of the breathing failures, but he was never identified. Out of the 7, however many employees they interviewed, this person was never identified. There was a black intern.
When they saw him like in their room. In the patient's room?
They saw him there, like in the area. I don't know if he was specifically in the room, but he was in the area. There was also, in that strange summer, they also interviewed, I have his name, Michael McLeod. He's a doctor, and he was an intern at the time. Now he's the head of MSU's surgical department. And he doesn't believe the women did it, but he also said that he was a person of interest and that they were that they interviewed him pretty lengthy because he had interactions there. And so he also, I think the point of his interview was that he also felt it might have been racially motivated, them trying to find someone to pin the murders on.
What is his race?
African-American, Black.
Okay. Did you say that and I missed it?
No, I don't think so. I think I just said his name.
Okay.
So these 2 women go to trial, and it's an all-white jury. And one of the things, they had a bunch of all circumstantial. It was actually, I think it was primarily women too. I think it was like 8 women and whatever else remaining men. 5, 4. How many is a jury?
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so they start on trial. And during this trial, from what I read, it sounded like the main reason, because there's a whole bunch of circumstantial evidence. And the main reason that the jury thought the two women were guilty is that they both took the stand. And I guess Lenova took the stand and was answering the questions. And they're like, did you ever see PI with this near this veteran or something like that? And she said, no, I didn't. And this is all hearsay. Like they didn't have the actual documents of her testimony. And so they called her back up later on and they found out that she was lying. And they're like, why did you lie? She's like, well, she's my friend, talking about Philip, like PI. Yeah. And so like she was caught on the stand lying about whether or not her friend was near a veteran or not. And so there was a reporter, I can't remember where he was from, but he said that was probably the main thing of why they were initially convicted, is because the two women testified and they didn't appear credible in their testimony.
Yeah. Oh, no.
But I mean, think about it. Like there's so many hardships. Like they come over here from the Philippines. English is not their first language. God knows if they know the legal system. I barely know the legal system, and I've lived in this country for my whole entire life.
I've used the legal system, and I still don't understand the legal system.
So there's so much going on. And then, so of course you're going to team up with a person from your home country that you're going through this thing with. Like, yeah, it totally makes sense. You're going to want to protect them and do everything you can. And obviously she thought, she must have thought that, they were both innocent. So it was a 13-week trial. So the motive, that's one thing that they couldn't really pin the women with, is like why they would do it. And so they tried to spin that they were trying to draw attention that there was a shortage of nurses, not only at that hospital, but across. And so supposedly they're just going to start killing patients to make the point that there's a shortage of nurses. So they were convicted, and then their lawyers appealed the conviction. And it actually, I think they were in jail for a while. I can't remember. And the defense attorneys said they cited prosecutorial misconduct, that they withheld some information, and then they were making blatant comments against the defendants that were like racially motivated. So they were kind of like making them seem, I mean, you're trying to make them seem guilty anyways, but some of their verbiage, I guess, was not legal, but not not appropriate for a courtroom. I guess we could say that. So a federal judge overruled the verdict and he ordered a new trial. So during this time,
so what year was the trial?
1977. Well, I have it written down twice. I have 76 and 77 written down, so I don't.
But like know. The actual deaths were in 75.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a pretty quick turnaround. So some of the things also for the defense, no one saw the nurses inject anything. They never overheard any plots of, let's do this all the time. What? Let's do this to the veterans? What am I talking about?
Do this with me.
Do this with me, apparently.
Oh my gosh, your face is cracking me up.
Shush. This
is what you have to endure every time I know
it's painful. It's painful, isn't it? So Pacifico Marcos, who is the son of Ferdinand, and we know how mother feels about Ferdinand Marcos. He headed a defense fund called the Miscarriage of Justice. So during this time of the trial, these women had the support of the public. Like Seidel US was like, these women did not do it. You're just picking them as scapegoats. This is not right.
So this was like the original GoFundMe.
Yes, it was. So they declined to mount another prosecution because the public was against it, and the nurses probably wouldn't testify in the second trial because of what happened with the first one. So the chance of them getting a conviction again was unlikely. However, the nurses weren't actually seen as being innocent. Like they didn't have a not guilty verdict. However, they were actually able to still work as nurses after this. Lenova went to San Diego and to be a nurse, and PI works in Michigan, and she retired in 2012. So they were able to. Oh yeah, this is one thing that I found like was so interesting when I was talking about how like English was not their first language. So it was talking about how they didn't understand some of the colloquialism, like coffee break. So and I might have gotten this from a different article, so it kind of doesn't flow with it. But when they would think, this wasn't these specific women, but a Filipino nurse was interviewed and was like, hey, do you want to take a coffee break? And she's like, no, I don't drink coffee. So she thought like you had to drink coffee during this coffee break. She didn't understand it was just a real, like a break throughout the day.
Right. And
so also when these women were answering, they would laugh at some of the questions. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of off-putting, I guess, but one of the reporters actually called it a nervous laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, look at our cousins. Like every time they have to talk to us.
Like a little giggle.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to get a nosebleed. I'm going to get a nosebleed. And they speak English quite well. And so there was a lot of yes or no questions from the U.S. attorney. Like, did you see this veteran? Yes or no? Well, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. And so he asked the questions in a way to make it seem he was smart. He was a smart attorney, I guess, Something else to throw a wrench into these women being guilty was their supervisor, Betty Jackum, Jakin. So she went and she actually confessed and said, I killed all these veterans. Like it was me. But the FBI totally discounted her. They're like, no, you actually weren't on shift during some of these, so we don't think it's you. But again, it was those open bays, open doors. And if you saw your supervisor there off shift, that wouldn't actually be alarming. Right. I wouldn't be alarmed by that. I'd be like, oh, she must have something to do. And so they never looked into her. And she actually ended up killing herself.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so
But what would it, did it say what her motive would have been?
No.
So here's another thing. Did they ever consider that perhaps somebody put the the medication into a different bottle?
See, that's what I was thinking. Mislabeling?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a possibility as well.
So, I mean, again, if it were their supervisor, she could have done that if she mislabeled. So, by the way, I just wanted to say that I looked up, is it Pavilon? Pavullon? Yes. So the brand is discontinued in the United States. So the generic is pink uronium. And it's a neuromuscular blocker. So It's like an anesthetic medication that
makes it easier to cut through muscle.
Right. So like a nurse would not routinely give that drug. It's not a drug that would be given.
No. Mm-mm. It's usually used for surgery.
Right.
Which I think is why that intern was looked into, because he was intern with surgery.
I see.
Surgical department.
Okay. Did you say that?
I did, but I didn't explain why that was pertinent because I skipped over what Pavilon was normally used for. So the only other thing that I have to add that I didn't add is that this was also the FBI agents were talking that there was a lot going on that summer. Jimmy Hoffa disappeared. There was a lot of robberies going on in Ann Arbor. He said that there was
John Wayne Gacy was at his prime.
Chicago. He said that there was sort of a depression going on. And so there was a lot of stuff going on when this happened. So that's kind of, I don't know why I wrote that down. I think it's because someone was wondering why it kind of took so long to interview why they narrowed in on those suspects. I don't know.
Did they have any other suspects at all, ever?
Well, that one unidentified male in the green, Yeah, that sounds like he was the only, and then the intern, it sounds like those two were the only other two.
But they never brought other people in for questioning. I mean, I know you said they questioned all of the staff, but
those were the main. The one FBI agent was pretty adamant. He's like, I know it was these two women. I have no doubts. He's like, I think the jury got it right. The chief of staff at the VA, he was also interviewed. He wrote a book on his experience from that summer. I didn't write down the name of it because I didn't want to advertise it because I didn't care for him. He feels that the jury got it right, I think was his quote that I read in an article. And he was on board with what the FBI was doing. And so the FBI is like, we thought it was everybody. We tried to narrow everyone out or, eliminate everyone instead of trying to make people fit their
agenda.
Decks. Yeah. Oh, there's his name. Martin Lindenbauer was the chief of staff. So that's kind of this crazy story. I feel like that jumped around a little bit.
Now, when did their supervisor commit suicide?
I didn't write that down. It was after, I just wrote Betty Jacob killed herself. Superior, she confessed. Those are the notes I wrote.
Oh my gosh, this journalism is amazing.
Well, I was like, I was reading articles and it was when I was homesick one of the days. And so like I was trying to write this down and
so what are your thoughts on it?
Well. My one thought that is, I think PI may have had something to do with it. She seems like a very strong-willed female, and the fact that Lenova would lie for her, it just seems like she would be able to coerce people into something. So that just might be her personality. It doesn't mean would murder someone. That doesn't mean that at all. She just seems that possibly she could.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but honestly, I think they're innocent. I don't think they did it. I think Betty should have been looked into. I mean, why would she confess if she didn't do it? And like no one was looking into her at all. Like why would
That's
you?
Really weird.
It's super weird. And they really had no motive. No one saw them inject anything into their IVs. And then I think it's from that strange summer again. I got to share this video with her. It is so informative. They were talking about like one of the questions was, can you carry? What would you do with a needle after you inject it into the IV? And then she's like, well, we would put it back on this tray, and carry the tray out. And then he asked like, could you put it in your pocket? And it was a yes or no answer. And so, I mean, yes, she could, but it'd be sticking out. And like, why would you put a needle in your, like, you'd be able to see a needle in a pocket.
Well, it depends. So again, those are different needles, obviously, but like the needles that I ever used had the safety cap that you inject and then you flip the safety cap so it blocks the needle.
I don't think they had those in the 70s.
No, they did not. No, but there are so many times where you just toss something in your you're done, you toss it in your pocket because you have another task that you need to complete, or you're in the midst of doing something and you're very busy or whatever. I don't know. I feel that it's easy for corporations and people to blame nurses. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Redonda trial.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Perhaps I will share this on our next, not our next episode. Next episode will be paranormal, but I think we're going to do another one on nursing, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. I think they were perfect scapegoats. They were foreign and they were on the bottom of the medical chain. Well,
and I think that's what is so difficult with nurses is that they're they're the main contact person between patient and anyone else. And nurses are the patient advocates. They're the ones who get to know the patients and say something like, I don't know that this treatment plan is going well. And they can be heroes in a situation, but they can easily be the ones who are thrown under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch that. So password is... That might have to be the title of this episode.
I can send it to you. She sent me a Facebook message and I'll send it to you.
Okay. All right. Well, so I guess since we're talking about, are you done with all your stuff for this?
Yeah, I think I covered all of my crazy little notes. I hope that wasn't as discombobulated as it felt.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I live in discombobulation.
So if it made sense to you, everyone else is going to be like, what?
What? That doesn't make any sense.
Why is she jumping around so much?
Right. Okay, well, since we're kind of talking about nurses and future episodes, we are going to put a call out that if anybody has anything paranormal they want to share, that's going to be our next episode. Paranormal Day was actually Paranormal Day was actually May 3rd, but there's so many other important days. We'll just do that next week. But please send them, even if they're short little things, send them to us. We have a doozy of one to go over. And nursing, again, we need nursing stories. Guys, please don't make me call you out, but I will. I will. And let's see. And we're looking at June. And June, there's Alzheimer's. Of course, it's LGBTQ Pride Month. And there's infertility. We don't have to do those topics. Those are just some of the observances that we observed.
Summer solstice.
Sure. Father's Day.
Dad's birthday.
My son's birthday.
So I have this weird habit. I don't know if I've ever told you that I do this. So when someone tells me their birthday, I think of 9 months prior to see if like their parents were celebrating an event or something.
I don't think that's weird at all.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Do you know, I think our parents are celebrating your birthday, and that's how I was conceived.
Ew.
It's like almost 9 months. It's a week shy. So I guess if I was born at 35 weeks.
Well, they were celebrating Father's Day for me.
Ew. That's so gross. Gross to think of our parents, but I don't know. It's entertaining for me in my head when people tell me when their birthday is.
Right. Okay, so anyway, if you have a situation or you know somebody with a situation that falls in one of those categories or something that doesn't fall into one of those categories, but you just want to talk to us about, for instance, I don't know that I was aware of maternal mental health until Chelsea reached out to us.
Same.
So help us bring awareness to your situation or something that you feel
people should know about.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I wanted to say is I'm not sure how many of you listen to our episodes based on Facebook, on our Another Situation podcast Facebook page. But I just wanted to let you know that Facebook is no longer going to be automatically downloading podcasts. And as of June 3rd, they will stop. I think all the old ones are supposed to remain on Facebook, but they will not be incorporating any new ones. We will still share a link, most likely to Apple Podcast on our Facebook, but don't forget you can find this on Apple Podcast is free if you have an iPhone or an Apple device.
Spotify is free.
Spotify is free. You have to deal with commercials, right? Is that what it is?
We have to an Apple podcast too.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't listened to any commercials.
In your podcast at all?
Well, I mean, if somebody inserts commercials.
Yeah. That's the only thing I have to deal with.
Oh, on Spotify too? I know, like, if you're listening to music on Spotify, you'll have commercials, right? For free?
Oh, I don't know. I don't listen to music on Spotify.
Okay.
And just podcasts are the ones that the people making the podcast put in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which you can skip through.
Yes. But you can listen. Apple Podcasts is free. Spotify is free. AnotherSituationPodcast.com. You can listen to the episodes there for free. You can read through guest profiles. You can read through our stories.
Oh, you can see my non-photo.
I was just about to say you can see the absent Jessica. The absent-minded Jessica. You can register as a guest on there too. If you do want to submit anonymously, just send us an email. Don't put your real name. We're not going to try to do a search on your email address to find out who you are.
We barely have time to podcast.
And edit.
Oof.
And in case you didn't notice, there's kind of a space gap in our last episode.
Is there?
Whoops.
Is there really?
I was trying to silence you, but I think I silenced everybody. It was just for like 2 seconds or 3. I thought there
Why
was
are we trying to silence me?
Because you're so noisy. You have so much noise in your background.
My headphones are cutting into my earrings and they're poking to the side of my head. Hurts.
You look ridiculous.
Have you ever like slept, like, do you wear posts to bed and like you lay on the side of your pillow and the posts poke into your head?
Yes, I have done that before.
Okay, well.
It's a lot of heavy breathing that just happened for you to rearrange your ears. Is your microphone on like superpower?
No. I didn't do anything to it.
Anyway, also happy belated Mother's Day, moms.
Yes. I hope you all enjoyed your day.
Yes. And I know another thing. May has a lot of observances, and it's Stroke Awareness Month that Rachel had posted on her personal page, and she said I could go ahead and share it on our Facebook page, which I did. And they have a special going on with for every $25 that you donate to the Yes Foundation, which is their foundation, and it stands for the Young Empowered Stroke Survivors Foundation. And again, that was organized by Rachel Groves and Ray Forsyth, 2 individuals who suffered strokes at the age of 32 and 41. They are doing a thing where you donate the money, $25, and your name is entered in for a chance to win some NFL swag. And not just regular NFL swag, but autographed NFL swag. So that's pretty cool. And again, you can go to our Facebook page, Another Situation Podcast, and her link is there. You can also find it on our website. And under her bio, you can click on, I think there's a website link under there. And there's also like her Facebook page for the Yes Foundation. Any links that are necessary are there. You can also listen to those episodes to find out their entire situations. Yes, thank you for listening, you guys. And please share us. I don't know that anyone's sharing us. Share us, for God's sake.
Maybe they just want to keep us to themselves. Thank you. That's very sweet.
Selfish.
So sweet.
You say sweet, I say selfish.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
We're going to get sued.
Pretty sure that wasn't on tune.
And we're not making any money off of this. So that's a real shame.
Thank you, everyone, though. If I work with a lot of nurses in my profession, and I know that I would not be able to do my job without them. So I am very much appreciative to the nurses I work with and to the ones I don't.
How about to the ones you're related to?
And to Kristen and Mom and you and
you had to start naming names. I
think
mean,
that's all the nurses in our family.
we have,
Well, on the
and to the Filipino nation. Thank you.
and to all the rest of our cousins in the Philippines and in England and Kuwait. We love you. You're awesome.
And Japan.
And Japan. That's right. Bautista. Okay. Might just kind of make noises. All right. I think that's it for us. We are hitting our limit of tolerance for each other.
Aww.
Love you, sis.
And you guys, I'm going to visit her for an entire week.
God bless America.
God bless Texas.
That'll be fun. We'll record together again.
Okay, can I stop recording and then you can
Do the extra? Oh, well, we gotta say bye.
I thought that was the extra.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
If you would like to reach out to us or submit your situation, please contact us at anothersituationpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at Another Situation Podcast. We're also on Facebook at Another Situation.
Another Situation is produced and edited by Point 5 Pinoy. Music is written and performed by Tim Crow.